Okay. Welcome to Shriya Live. In this session, we will be studying about the morphology of flowering plants. Okay. To start with, morphology. What is morphology? Morphology is a branch of science which deals with the study of form and structure. Okay. I repeat once again, morphology is a branch of science which deals with the study of form and structure. According to Greek, the word or the term morphos means form. Okay. Logos means study. Okay. In botany, okay, what is botany? Botany is a branch of science which deals with the study of plants. It generally means the study of external features or external characteristics. Okay. Then, like external characteristic features or external features, studying of these external features or characteristics is called as morphology. Then, these external features, it forms and relative position of different organs of the plant. Flowering plants, which is also called as angiosperms. Okay, they are seed-bearing plants in which the seeds are always enclosed or covered. Okay, in an ovary inside the fruits, and the sporophylls are organized into flowers. So, or in simple terminology, if you want to tell what is flowering plants are also called as an angiosperms. Okay, always they show the presence of flowers in the clusters. So these angiosperms are classified into two types. One is monocots, another one is dicots. Okay, I repeat once again, angiosperms are classified into two different types depending upon the presence of cotyledons. Okay, monocots and dicots. Monocots means the plants which is having only one okay, cotyledons is called as a monocots. The plants which is bearing or which is showing the presence of two cotyledons, it is called di. The meaning of di is two. Okay. So I repeat once again, angiosperms are classified into two types, monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Monocotyledons are those plants which shows only the presence of one cotyledon. Dicotyledons are those plants which shows the presence of two cotyledons. Okay. Further, the flowering plants consist of an axis, a root system and a shoot system. Okay. Then, what is this shoot system? Shoot system is the one which always lies above the surface of the ground. Okay, if this is your ground surface, whatever the thing it comes above the surface of the ground, this forms the shoot system. Okay, then root system. The root system is the one which always lies below. If this is the surface of the soil. Okay, the part which is seen above the surface of the soil, it may be the leaves, it may be the flowers, fruits, stem, nodes, internodes, all these comes as a shoot system. Okay. Then the part which lies below the surface of the soil constitutes the root system. Okay, shoot system and root system. Then shoot system, okay, that will be bearing the branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. The root system, that will be bearing the primary root or secondary root. Only root will be present below the surface. Okay. Further, the root, leaves and branches constitute the vegetative part, whereas flowers, fruits, seeds constitute the reproductive part. I repeat once again, the root, leaves, branches, okay, constitute the vegetative part, whereas the flowers, fruits and seeds, that constitutes the reproductive part of the plant. There will be two different parts in a flower. It will be vegetative or reproductive. only the fruits, flowers and seeds that will be constituting the reproductive part, whereas the leaves, branches and the roots that will be constituting the vegetative part of the flower. Next, we will be starting with the root. Root is usually an underground part of the plant. What is the meaning of underground? Underground means they are present just below the surface of the soil. Okay, underground part of the plant. The two important, prominent functions are fixation and absorption. Okay, what is this fixation? The plants will be standing straight only just because of the presence of root, okay, which will be holding in its place. That is called fixation or even anchorage. Okay. The second important function is absorption. Absorption is the main function of the root is to absorb the soil, absorb the water and nutrients, maybe micronutrients or macronutrients which is present in the soil will be absorbed by the root. These are the two important functions of the root. Okay. The root with its branches is known as root system, and these roots are descending. Okay. Okay, descending. They are non-green. What is the meaning of non-green? Because the color of the root is not green in color, so it may be light brown or dark brown. Okay, because they do not contain any chlorophyll as such. Hence, they are always non-green in nature. Then they are underground. They are present below the surface of the soil. Okay, lacking internodes, nodes, okay, buds, flowers. On the root, we cannot see the presence of nodal region or the internodal region on the leaves and buds. So these nodes, internodes, leaves and buds are not present on the root. We can only see the root hairs, okay, and the root, which is non-green in color, because they are not always accompanied or showing the presence of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll are completely absent in the root, and hence they are non-green in color. Okay. Next point is, it is responsible for nutrition and support. As I have already told you that nutrition helping the absorption of water and minerals which is present in the soil, and support meaning anchorage. Okay. Radicle comes out or arise from the seed coat in the form of an soft structure, and they move towards the soil. It develops and forms the primary root. What does it mean? From the seed, okay, there are two structures. One is radicle, another one is plumule. Okay, radicle is the one which will be emerging out or coming out. Okay, and they develop and grow to form a primary root. Whereas plumule will give rise to the shoot. Radicle is the one which will be always giving rise to the root. Okay. Then roots are of two types. Roots are further classified into two types. One is taproot, another one is adventitious root. Okay. What is this taproot? Taproot is the one which always develops from the radicle. Okay. It is made up of only one. It is made up of only one main branch and other sub branches. Okay. They are lateral branches. Okay, these taproot, they even form lateral branches, and sometimes it is also called as a secondary root. This secondary root further will divide to form a tertiary root. Okay, and these taproots, which with its secondary, tertiary root, together they form a taproot system. Okay, taproots with secondary and tertiary roots together form a taproot system. So, the presence of taproot system is one of the characteristic feature of this dicotyledonous plant. Okay, one of the important characteristic of this dicotyledonous plant is the presence of taproot system. Whereas in the monopod, it is not taproot, it is the adventitious root. That is the difference between the monopod plant and the dipod plant is, in the dipod plant they show the presence of taproot system, In the monocot, they show the presence of the adventitious root system. Then, what is this adventitious roots? So, in some plants, whenever, okay, the tap root stops growing, whenever this tap root stops growing, okay, then the roots develop from other part, okay. It may be branched or unbranched, it may be fibrous in nature, it may perform the storage function, and these are called as an adventitious roots. I repeat once again, whenever the tap root, okay, they stop growing, okay, laterally, our roots develop from other parts of the plant, okay. So, this can be branched or unbranched, or it can be fibrous in nature or storage in function. These are called as an adventitious roots. Adventitious roots, it is mainly found in the monocots. Okay, as I have told you, the taproot is the one characteristic feature of the dicot plants. This is the adventitious roots, is the characteristic features of the monocot plants. Adventitious roots are the mainly found in the monocots. Adventitious roots, further, they can be grouped into many types depending upon the appearance, okay, from where it arises. If this eye can be arising from the stem also, example, it is triticum, a wheat plant, okay, it can be arising from the leaves, example is bryophyllum, okay. It can even arise or develop from node and internodes of the stem. Okay. Example is sugar cane. The one which arises from the nodes and internodes. Nodes are the internodes of the stem. So, these in this slide we could study the function of root, okay, the types of root, that is the tap root and the adventitious root, okay, the characteristic feature where it is present or how it is formed, okay, and different types of the roots. That means adventitious roots can be from the stem, can be from the leaf, it can be even from the nodal region. So next, to start with, we will be studying about the regions of root. Okay. In the previous slide, okay, here we could make out there are so many regions in the root. That is root cap, then region of cell division. It is also called as a meristematic region. Okay. Region of cell elongation, region of maturation. These are all the different regions of the root. Okay, see, root consists of major zones, that is root cap, meristematic zone, or it is also called as a region of cell division. Meristematic zone is also called as a region of cell division. Then, zone of cell elongation and maturation zone. So, to start, we will be studying about the root cap. Root cap is also known as calyptra. Why? Because it originates from the calyptrogen. Okay, meaning this root cap is a cap-like structure. The main function of this root cap is to protect the root tip or apex, root apex. Okay, it is made up of thin-walled cells. I repeat once again, root cap is also called as a calyptra because it originates from calyptrogen. It is a cap-like structure. Further, it is made up of thin-walled cells and covers the root apex or root tip. Root tip. Okay. Then, it is made up of dead cells, protects the young growing cells in the apical region. It is absent in, root caps are absent in hydrophytes, the plants which grows in water. Epiphytes, the plants which grows on the surface of the another plant, but it will not draw their nutrition, are called as an epiphytes. Parasites, again the plant which always grows on the surface of the another plant, but they will be drawing the nutrition water from the host plant. And mycorrhiza, okay, mycorrhiza is nothing but the association of this fungus, fungus, rhiza means root. Association of this fungus with the roots of an higher plants is called as an mycorrhiza. So root caps are completely absent in these four types. Okay, hydrophytes, epiphytes, parasites and mycorrhiza. They are completely absent. Then, following the root cap region, we have meristematic zone. Okay, what is this meristem? The main function of meristem is, meristems are those cells which always in the active state of cell division. They will be just actively dividing and dividing. So this is the region which is present above the root cap. It is made up of compactly arranged. Compactly arranged meaning without any intercellular spaces. Thin-walled isodiametric. Okay. They have a dense protoplasm and large nucleus. Okay. Then they are always in the active state of division, as I have told you. This is one of the important points. So this is the main growing region of the root. It is in the meristematic region only. The cells will be dividing, okay, and it will be adding up. So hence it is the main growing region of the root. Next is zone of cell elongation. Following the meristematic zone or the region of cell division, we have the region of cell elongation. Okay, always the main function is to increase in length of the root. Okay, and apart from that, the two important function is they absorb water and mineral salts from the soil. So the cell elongation, the two, they will be increasing in length, and apart from that, they will be performing two functions, that is absorption of water and mineral salts from the soil. Maturation zone. The following the zone of cell elongation, we have maturation zone. Why do we call this as a maturation zone? Because it is in this region, or from this region, the secondary growth will be taking place. Okay, from this region. Then region of maturation zone is an area of lateral roots, and it is only function is to anchor the plant firmly in the soil. So secondary growth always takes place in this region, and it always anchors the plant firmly in the soil. Okay. Apart from that, the unicellular ephemeral root hairs are formed from the epidermal cells of this zone. As I told you, secondary growth always takes place in the region of maturation. What is this secondary growth? Secondary growth is nothing but always starts from the or by the formation of secondary tissues such as secondary xylem, secondary phloem, so and so. When that secondary growth takes place, it is always taking place from this maturation zone itself. Okay. Then root hairs helps in absorption of water. Root hairs are absent in all the plants where there are no root caps. When there is no root caps, the root hairs are absent. Okay. Further, this is about the structure of root. Okay. The root shows root cap, zone of cell division or meristematic region, zone of cell elongation, zone of maturation or maturation zone. So modification of roots. Roots, it may be the tap roots or the adventitious roots, they will be modified in order to perform different functions, particularly different function in order to perform and different function or a special function, they are called as an modified roots. Okay, in order to perform different function or in order to perform special function, these tap roots or adventitious roots are modified. So such modification is called as a modified roots. So to start, we can study the modified roots in even tap roots or in the adventitious roots. So to start with, we can start with the modification of tap root. So the tap roots are modified for two purposes. One is for storage, another one is for respiration. So we will be studying one by one. So first we will start with the modified tap roots for food storage. Okay, for we have fusiform roots, napiform root. Okay, fusiform roots, napiform root, and conical root. Okay, then fusiform roots. These are the roots which are thicker only in the middle. Okay, thicker only in the middle, but tapering on both the ends. Okay, fusiform roots. These are the roots which are thicker in the middle and which is tapering on both the ends. So this type of roots is called as an fusiform roots, where we can tell that or we can see that hypocotyl and the root helps in the storage of food. Example, radish. Okay, fusiform. Next is conical root. In this type of roots, they are thicker at their upper side and tapering at they are thicker at upper side and tapering at basal end, and these type of roots are called as a conical root. Example, carrot. Napiform root. Okay, these roots become swollen, which is spherical or rounded in shape at its upper end. Okay, spherical at its upper end and tapering like a thread at the lower end. So example, turnip or sugar beet. Sugar beet is beetroot, beta vulgaris. When we see or take the beetroot and see, we can see that it is the upper portion or upper side is spherical or rounded in nature. Lower side it is tapering. So this is a beetroot, which is an example for napiform root. And conical root, example, carrot. Okay, we can see thicker at the upper side, tapering at the basal end. Okay, fusiform, example, radish. Okay, where only the middle portion is swollen, upper and the lower end is tapered. Next, we have our tuberous roots. The roots which do not, which do not have a regular shape and they get swollen at any points. Okay, at any points or any portion is called as a tuberous roots. Example is mirabilis. Next, we have nodulated roots. What is this nodulated roots? Nodulated roots. So, in some of the plants, or when we see the complete groundnut plant, okay, on the root we can see the small nodule-like structures, okay, which is present. These nodules are called as root nodules. Okay, root nodules. These root nodules are pink color in nature because of the presence of like hemoglobin pigment in them. Okay, then which carry oxygen and provide anaerobic environment. And these rhizobium, the main function of this rhizobium is, or the root nodules is, they help in fixing the atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen fixation. Example is any plants of leguminous family, Papillonaceae, example pea, or you can even give groundnut, Arachis hypogaea, the botanical and the scientific name. Okay, these are called as a nodulated root because they show the presence of nodule-like structures, which is called as a rhizobium on the surface of the root. Hence, these are called as a nodulated roots. Next, these are the roots which is modified for the purpose of storage. Next, we are going to study modified taproot for respiration. They are called pneumatophores. What is this pneumatophores? Whenever in the mangroves where in the soil there is rich in saline or a salt content. Concentration of the salt will be more. Okay, because of that, some plants they will be growing upward. Okay, in the marshy areas where there is a scarcity of oxygen. Okay, marshy area means the place where the soil is rich in salt content. They grow some. These taproots are grown vertically upward. Okay, you can see this taproots grows vertically upward and it comes out of the surface of the soil. These roots are called as pneumatophores. Okay, or it is also called as breathing roots. Pneumatophores are also called as breathing roots. Okay. Then, what is this pneumatophores? When these roots comes out, grows vertically upward, they will be showing the presence of minute pores. Okay, they will be showing the presence of minute pores, and these pores are also called as pneumatothores or lenticels. Okay, and the main purpose, function of these pores are the exchange of gases which is present in the atmosphere. So it serves as a purpose of respiration. Example, rhizophora, then Haritia, etc. Okay. Then modification of adventitious roots. Adventitious roots can be modified on the basis of the functions like it may be fleshy for the purpose of storage, or it can be mechanical support or any other important vital functions. Depending upon any nature, they get modified, these adventitious roots. Example is tuberous adventitious root. What is this tuberous adventitious roots? When always this food is stored in these roots, they become swollen and form a bulge. Okay. For example, sweet potato, where starch is stored in the form of a food and they are underground, okay, present below the surface of the soil, they are called tuberous adventitious roots. Okay. Next is fasciculated. What is fasciculated? These are again another type of adventitious roots. They always occur in clusters or groups, and all of them are more swollen. Example is asparagus or thalia. Next is third one is fibrous roots. Here, why do we call it as fibrous? Roots are very thin, filamentous, very thin, filamentous in nature. Example, grass and wheat. These are called as fibrous roots. Nodulose root. Okay. What is this nodulose root? In this type, only the tips of the root swells up. These are called as nodulated roots. Example, melilotus. Next is beaded or moniliform root. When root swells up, okay, be like a bead at different places. Bead means sometimes it may be like this. Bead like. Okay, giving a bead like appearances at different points or at different places. The roots swells up. Okay, at a regular interval, and these are called as beaded roots or moniliform roots. Example, vitis, portulacia, etc. Next is stilt root. What is this stilt root? When root arises from the lower nodes and enter inside the soil and form a rope-like structure. Okay, it is known as Stilt root. Example, sugarcane. Sugarcane, or when sugarcanes are differentiated into nodes and internodes. From the lower nodal region, you can see small, okay, root-like structures which is coming out, and these are called as an stilt root. The main purpose is they give support for the growing plants. Okay, they always arise or develop from the lower nodal region. Okay, example maize, sugarcane. Then prop root or pillar root. Prop roots are always seen in, okay, banyan tree, which will be arising or which will be forming or developing from the branches, okay, from the branches of the plant, and they grow downward. Why? Because the plant is very huge, okay. The trunk of the tree is very big, the diameter of the earth is very huge. In order to stand, okay, itself, the root will be coming from the branch of the plant, okay, that can be vertically growing downwards, or they can be even do not touch the surface of the soil, but that gives the additional support for the plant, I mean for the tree to stand itself. Okay, such root appear from the basal part of the stem and they spread in different directions are called as an prop root or pillar root. Example is banyan. Okay. Then you have buttress root, because these are the roots which appear from basal part of the stem and they spread in different directions. Example, terminalia. Okay. Terminalia. Now we have another root, that is climbing root. What is this? Why do we call this as a climbing root? So, example, when we have seen growing some money plants or any plants with weak stem, which cannot stand straight, okay, that time, so we will be always giving some support, like in the pomp thread or any other thing. On this, they will be twining and they will be growing, okay. The roots will be coming from the part of the leaf or something in order to support itself, because as such the stem will be very weak. These are called as climbing roots. See, these roots arise from the nodes of the stem. They help plants in climbing or twining. Example is money plant. All of us, you might have seen this money plant. Okay, because due to the stem is becoming very weak or stem itself is very weak, they will be developing this climbing roots in order to support themselves. Next is respiratory root. What is the meaning of respiratory? They always helps in the exchange of gases. Main purpose is to exchange the gases. Okay. Whenever the quantity of oxygen is very low, the some root comes out from the soil and helps in the respiration. Example, Avicennia, okay, and Jassia. Jassia, this is a plant which grows in water, okay, hydrophyte. Avicennia is a plant which grows wherever the soil is rich in, okay, salt content. Folia root or epiphyllous root. What is this folia root? Folia meaning leaf-like. Okay. Whenever the roots arise from leaf, they are called folia, or it is called epiphyllous. Epi on the surface, phyllis of the leaf is called as folia roots. Example, Bryophyllum begonia. Okay. Bryophyllum, you would have seen this plant on the sides, okay, of leaf. We can see the small bird like thing which is coming out. Okay, if we cut this small bird and if we grow in the soil, that will be growing. Okay, hence these are the roots which comes out from the leaf. They are called folia roots. Sucking or pastoral roots or parasitic roots. Parasitic plants are those plants which always grows on the surface of the another plant, but they definitely will be drawing the nutrition from the host. So in order to draw the nutrition, they will be developing a root system that is called as parasitic root or hostorial root. Main function is to suck or to draw the nutrition of the host. That will be seen only in the parasitic plants. Example is Cuscuta. Okay, Cuscuta is a stem parasite which is light yellowish in color, thread-like structures. Okay, that will be always twining on the surface of another plant. Next, the last one is annulated roots. If the swelling of a root, it will be happening in series of rings like these. Okay, series of rings, and this kinds of roots is called as an annulated roots. Example, IPCAT. Okay, these are all the modifications of the root which is observed in the adventitious rooting system. So further we have so many different types of classification. As of now, this much is very important. So thank you. Further, if you want any further information, if you need to contact, you can contact through our landline number which is already displayed, or you can even mail us by this address, that is shriyalive@gmail.com. We have even landline also or mobile also. To any number you can contact us. Thank you.